The story begins in a small, rural village in West Africa where people struggle to make ends meet. The villagers live humble lives, farming and trading, but poverty haunts them all. The once prosperous land has now turned barren, and hunger gnaws at their spirits. Mbakofi, once a land of bountiful harvests and joyous celebrations, has fallen into despair. The fertile fields have withered, and the air is thick with the stifling weight of poverty. Dust swirls in the wind, carrying with it the echoes of children's laughter that had long since faded. At the heart of this struggling village is Kwame, a young man of 25 years. Kwame, with his lean frame and calloused hands, is a farmer like his father and grandfather before him. But no matter how hard he toils, the soil remains unyielding, and his family's hunger grows heavier by the day. The desperation in his mother's eyes and the hollow faces of his younger siblings haunt him. He dreams of escape, of a life beyond the shackles of poverty. One day, while sitting beneath the ancient baobab tree at the edge of the village, Kwame overhears two elders whispering. Their words are faint but unmistakable: the Juju priest in the dark forest can grant wealth. But his promises, they always come at a price. That evening, Kwame cannot shake the elders' words from his mind. The idea of seeking the Juju priest gnaws at him. His father's advice echoes in his memory: patience and hard work, son. The land will heal. But patience will not fill empty bellies, and hard work has yielded nothing but blisters and despair. The following morning, Kwame approaches his childhood friend, Ayo, who is known for his knowledge of the village's myths and secrets. Ayo's eyes widen when Kwame mentions the Juju priest. "You mustn't go," Ayo warns. "They say the priest's wealth is cursed. Those who seek him are never the same." But Kwame has made up his mind. That night, under the cover of darkness, he sets out alone toward the forbidden dark forest, where the Juju priest is said to reside. Kwame ventures to the priest's hut, where a thick fog surrounds the entrance. The air is heavy with mystery, and the walls of the hut are adorned with strange symbols and items. The Juju priest, an old man with piercing eyes and an air of power, greets him. Kwame explains his desperation, and the priest listens silently. After a long pause, the priest makes him an offer: "I can make you rich beyond your wildest dreams, but in return, you must sacrifice something precious to you." The forest is alive with eerie sounds: the hoot of an owl, the rustle of unseen creatures, and the distant croak of frogs. Kwame's lantern casts flickering shadows that dance like spirits among the trees. As he ventures deeper, he stumbles upon a clearing where a small, dilapidated hut stands, illuminated by a faint, otherworldly glow. Inside, the air is thick with the scent of burning herbs. The Juju priest sits cross-legged on a mat, his face obscured by a cowrie-shell mask. His presence exudes power and mystery. Without looking up, the priest speaks in a voice that seems to reverberate through the air: "I know why you have come, Kwame of Mbakofi." Kwame's heart pounds as he explains his plight. The priest listens in silence, then gestures to a carved wooden chest. From it, he retrieves a small, shimmering charm and places it on the mat. "This charm will bring you untold wealth," the priest says. "But wealth is not without sacrifice. You must offer something irreplaceable, something that binds your spirit." Kwame is torn. The price seems high, but the temptation is irresistible. He thinks of his starving family, of the life he's always dreamed of. The priest warns him: "The ritual requires something that binds you, something you cannot replace. Think carefully before you decide." But Kwame, desperate, agrees. The priest hands him a small charm and tells him to keep it close. The ritual will take place at midnight under the full moon. Kwame's mind races. What could the priest mean by something irreplaceable? He asks, but the priest merely smiles, his eyes glinting behind the mask. "You will know when the time comes," he says cryptically. Desperation outweighs caution, and Kwame agrees to the ritual. The priest instructs him to return at midnight under the full moon and warns him, once the pact is made, there is no undoing it. That night, Kwame's thoughts are a storm of excitement and dread. The image of his family living in comfort and abundance fills him with resolve. As the clock strikes midnight, he returns to the forest, clutching the charm tightly in his hand. At midnight, under a full moon, Kwame returns to the priest's hut. The ritual is set to begin. The Juju priest lights candles in a circle and chants in an ancient language. A strange energy fills the air, and Kwame begins to feel a pull. His heart races as he realizes that the ritual is not just about money. It's much darker, much more dangerous than he had imagined. The clearing is transformed into a scene of otherworldly power. Candles form a perfect circle around a blackened fire pit. The Juju priest chants in a language Kwame does not understand, his voice rising and falling like the wind. Kwame stands at the center of the circle, the charm glowing brighter with each chant. Suddenly, the flames of the fire pit burst to life, burning blue and green. The air crackles with energy, and Kwame feels a pull deep within his chest, as if the very essence of his being is being drawn toward the fire. The priest's voice grows louder, the spirit has heard your plea. Now, it demands your sacrifice. As the ritual progresses, the Juju priest demands that Kwame place the charm into the fire. At first, nothing happens, but then, the ground shakes. A figure appears in the smoke, a dark spirit, ancient and powerful. The priest warns Kwame that once the spirit is summoned, there is no turning back. The spirit demands payment for the wealth it will grant. Kwame's mind races. He begins to feel the true weight of the decision he has made. From the flames, a dark figure begins to emerge, an ancient spirit with glowing red eyes and an aura of immense power. Its voice is a deep rumble that shakes the ground. What will you offer me, immortal, in exchange for the wealth you seek? Kwame stammers, unsure of what to say. The priest steps forward and whispers in his ear, the spirit demands your essence. A bond of blood and spirit, your very soul. Kwame hesitates, but the spirit grows impatient. Choose now, or be consumed, it roars. Overcome with fear and desperation, Kwame nods, sealing his fate. The spirit, now fully manifested, reveals the price that Kwame must pay, his soul. In exchange for wealth, his soul will be bound to the Juju priest forever, a servant of the dark forces. Kwame begs for mercy, but the spirit's words are final. The Juju priest smiles, his eyes glowing with malicious satisfaction. The ritual ends with a blinding flash of light. When Kwame opens his eyes, he is back in his home, and his surroundings are unrecognizable. Gold coins and jewels are piled high, and fine silk drapes his bed. His family rushes to him, their faces glowing with joy. They are no longer hungry, no longer in despair. But deep within, Kwame feels a hollow ache. That night, as he lies awake, he hears whispers in the darkness. The spirit's voice echoes in his mind, your wealth is yours for now, but remember, your soul belongs to me. The next morning, Kwame wakes up in his home to find that his life has transformed. Piles of gold and silver are scattered across his house. He is richer than he ever imagined. His family is amazed, and the villagers look at him in awe. But as the days pass, Kwame feels an emptiness inside. He begins to hear whispers, voices calling his name from the shadows. He knows that the spirit has not forgotten its promise. As the weeks go by, the wealth grows, but so do the nightmares. Kwame is haunted by visions of the spirit and the Juju priest. He can feel the presence of the dark forces, always watching, always waiting. The village, once proud of his success, begins to turn against him. They sense the change in him, the darkness that now surrounds him. Kwame realizes that he cannot escape the dark forces. Desperate for redemption, he returns to the Juju priest, begging for a way to undo the curse. The priest tells him that there is one way, to give up everything he has gained and return to the life he once had. But the price will still be steep, the wealth will disappear, and he will lose everything, including his family. Kwame must choose, keep the wealth and live with the curse, or give it up and face the unknown. In the end, Kwame chooses to give up the wealth. As he leaves the Juju priest's hut for the last time, he feels the weight of the curse lifting. The spirit vanishes, and the dark magic fades. But his life is forever changed. The village is no longer a place of misery, but Kwame, now wiser and humbler, continues his life as it was before. He learns that true wealth lies not in gold or silver, but in the love and support of his family and community. The story of Kwame serves as a chilling reminder of the dangers of greed and the unforeseen costs of pursuing wealth at any cost. In his quest for riches, Kwame learned that true wealth cannot be measured in gold but in the bonds of family, community, and a soul unburdened by darkness. And so, the lesson of this tale lingers, just like the wisdom in every story we share here on Folktale TV. If you've enjoyed this journey, why not join us for the next? Subscribe, like, and share the story, hit the notification bell, and be the first to uncover the next story waiting to be told. Because every bell you click opens a new chapter of wonder and adventure. Don't miss it, your next favorite tale could be just one click away.